how to cut your bond by 5 years. Let's say you are having a 20-year bond and you are paying roughly 5,000 rands every month, and the bond says 20 years. I know other people have got 25-year bonds, other people have got 30-year bonds. If you've got a 30-year bond, you want to cut it by 5 years, so you end up paying for 25 years. Or you've got a 25-year bond, you want to cut it by 5 years, you end up paying 20 for 20 years. Or you got a 20-year bond, you want to end up paying at least for 15 years. If your bond is 5 grand a month, just pay 6 grand every month. That's your answer. There's no rocket science to it. If you can pay an extra 2 grand, so you end up paying 7 grand actually, that'll even cut another year or even 2 more years. So you've got a 5,000 rands bond every month, rather pay 7,000 rands if you can afford it, and stick to that every month for the first year, the second year, the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year, the 7th year, the 9th year. Keep paying an extra 2 grand every month. And what's going to be nice is that over the years, the value of that home is going to appreciate. And as the value of that home appreciates, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can use your bond as your bank. You can refinance it and get another property. You can refinance it and get the money out sometimes if you want and go do other things. You can refinance it and go get a rental property that you can rent out, and it can give you passive income, and then the tenants over there, they can pay off the bond for you. There's a lot of ways on how you can do it, but it's just an advice that I'd like to give to my young brothers and sisters out there, especially the first-time homeowners. Your bond is 5 grand a month, just pay an extra 1,000 rands. So look at it as my bond is 6,000, if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, the day that you do make a little bit more money, from time to time put in extra. If you've got a score somewhere, for that month you can be able to pay 10 grand, pay it. You've got a score somewhere, for that month you can be able to pay 20 grand, pay it. You're gonna smile at a later stage. But the best thing to do that you won't feel, it won't even take too much off of your money, it's just an extra 1,000 rands if you've got a 5,000 rands bond. Got a 10,000 rands bond, just pay a little extra, just an extra 2 grand every month. Treat your bond as 12,000 rands. I know the interest rates just hiked recently, and I know that our repayments are no longer the same as they were like 3-4 years ago. What you were paying during COVID in 2020 and what you are paying now, I know those are 2 different amounts. Things have changed drastically. That brings me to a point of saying there is no need for us to keep on eating out as often as we used to. Why don't buy groceries and eat at home? Why not build chala a garden at the back of your house and cook? Chala cabbages there, chala spinach there, chala potatoes there, and eat at home. There is no need to continue buying expensive clothes, going for shopping whenever you want to. Even if you've got the money, start becoming more financially disciplined with your money. As you can see, times are changing. Think about the future of your kids. Think about your future. You might have a job now, maybe tomorrow you don't. Some of you guys who are working out there. I can go on and on and on this video, but all I wanted to say is the simplest thing you can do, just pay a little bit extra for your bond. Your 5,000 rands bond, pay 6,000 every month. Treat it as if your bond is 6,000. Your 10,000 rands bond, pay 2,000 rands extra every month. Treat it as my bond is 12,000. Your 15,000 rands bond, pay an extra 3 grand every month. Treat it as if my bond is 18,000. I'm talking about houses now. I'm talking about property owners. I'm talking about bond holders. I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about cars and installments, no. I'm talking about the bond that you pay every month. If you're in a country like America, they call it mortgage. Consult professionals. They'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you. Yes, if you consult professionals, they're going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. that if you pay a little bit extra for your bond every month consistently, it's gonna make a huge difference in your life. It's gonna be a game changer. If you can just do it for 5 years, you'll see what's gonna happen. You're gonna be proud of yourself. I'm telling you these things because these are some of the things that some of us never knew early when we were homeowners. I just thought, if I could just pay this much for my bond, at least I've got this much for entertainment for the end of the for the rest of the month. I've got this much for groceries. I've got this month for my policies for medical aid. I've got this month for this much for transport. I've got this much for my kids' school fees. I've got this much for data and airtime, etc. When you budget, and that's another thing, guys. I don't think a lot of you young guys out there budget monthly. I don't think you take your monthly barking salary so serious that you sit down and you write down your budget and you tick every line item. You have to do that. It's important because those are your finances, and if you can get some extra cash from somewhere where you can be able to pay a little bit extra for your bond, I think you better do it. It's gonna make a huge difference in your life. You know, I always say to people, your pay slip is your gateway to wealth. Yes, you can start out as an employee, use your pay slip, guard your credit score with your life. I'm gonna say that again. Guard your credit score with your life. You don't wanna be like us. You don't wanna go through judgments. You don't wanna go through the credit bureau where you are blacklisted, where you can't buy a car, you can't buy a home. You're having financial struggles just because you're blacklisted, because you became irresponsible with your finances. So become very responsible. Budget. Look at where every cent is going to, where you can be able to cut out costs or cut down costs, like I was saying earlier. Do it. Do it, Mdansekhaya. If you can see that you have to downgrade this car because it's costing you a lot, you're paying a lot every month, and it's chowing you on fuel, rather downgrade the car. I was saying on the other video, instead of even having a nice car to drive around the hood, or your Golf 7 or your Polo Playa, why not you just buy a car that's gonna bring you money and turn it into a shuttle service, an H1 second hand, or even an NP200 Munnaki van. Munnaki van, trust me. At least get a car that you can turn from a liability into an asset and it can bring you some extra money. Or an extra car that you can turn into an Uber that brings in money. But other people who are smart, they don't even buy homes and move into them quickly. I've done videos in the past and I've said sometimes there's no need to be in a hurry to move out of home. You can, while you're still at home, when you know that you can be able to afford a 500,000 rands 1-bedroom apartment, buy it. Put it out as a rental. And instead of paying that 7 grand every month, you pay 8.5 grand every month. Instead of paying that 6 grand every month, bond repayments, pay 7.5 grand every month. So try and always make sure that you're paying in a little bit extra every month. It's gonna make a difference in the long run. That's how you cut out the years of your bond. Go consult professionals. I'm not a professional, but trust me, they're all gonna tell you the same thing. Ke mo chimintse ke spana ke thuwa mkhaba ngwaneso.